almost stopping the boat. They don't want to be over early. And it looks like one might be drifting across, but it is go in this first round match between Denmark and Poland. The positions you do not want to be in are first and fourth, because then it's a draw and you will lose.
One with another one.
Swiss will get the win.
Yeah. Roxy Jr. just penalized Kwabi. Kwabi dropping down. Now it's time. It's Susie attacking Moonflower. No, she missing Roxy Jr.
Yeah, very interesting battle in the first downwind. We saw the whole fleet coming to that first windward mark, very closely packed, all next to each other.
Piccolo's capturing General in the wind shadow, Alec. A bad come.
And General hasn't found the wind. Hasn't found the wind at all yet. He's so slow. He's a knot slower than the Swede. All he's got now is his right of way, and it's a penalty.
To General. Hello, good evening, and welcome to this night's eNations Cup. Welcome to the semi-finals. My name is Thomas Bjørn Luthier, and I'm going to guide you to tonight's fantastic drama. It's against Britain and Italy, and they're going to meet in this epic battle for going all the way to the final. And I have to say, you have to help my dear friend, co-commentator in studio tonight, because he's quite split. He's also split nationality. He's half British, half Italian. So no matter what, he's winning tonight, but he's also going to cry. Please welcome my dear friend, Alec Wilkinson.
Yeah, split nationality, split personality, some would say. So who's going to win it? I don't know. Great Britain or Italy? It's the third seed against the second seed. So, I mean, it's going to be close. The quarterfinals that they raced were fascinating, exciting, intriguing, all those things. So one thing is for sure, whoever wins, we're in for some good entertainment.
And it's going to be a very good entertainment. What we saw yesterday, the result didn't tell the full story. I think we had the three most entertaining races ever in the eNations Cup yesterday. But tonight is also going to be one of those battles.
So this is how we got to this stage. We're looking at the right-hand side of the screen here. Great Britain against Italy in this semi-final. And yesterday's race that Thomas was talking about was Spain against Denmark. It finished 7-2, but no, absolutely, that score does not reflect how close the sailing was or how high a quality the sailing was. And I predict a very similar situation in this this last semi-final between Great Britain and Italy. The standard of eSailing is going to be terrific.
Yeah, and it's quite funny to see the results, because when Great Britain met Germany, they won 7-2 over Germany. And this is actually one of the few games of the big results we've seen where one nation was so dominating. against another nation. Rest of the results are not actually showing how great a game it was. Then we have Italy only winning 5-4 against Netherlands, and they were down with match points, so the Netherlands can actually win it. So they made a great comeback. But
yeah, the Italians came back from 2-4 down to win it 5-4, and it came right down to the last race. It was a really thrilling quarter-final. But you just wonder what mindset Italy are going to be going into this semi-final in after having been taken so close by the Netherlands.
And the format we're going to see is the eNations Cup format. They're going to race 9 races in total. And the first 3 we're going to see is 10 versus 10 and 49er. Then we're going into a match race, female versus female in a starboat, 5 versus 5 in a laser. And after that, we're going into 6 fantastic races. It starts fast. It's slowing down, it's getting more tactical and also strategic. And then we end up with speed. But Alec, let's hear from one of the nations how it's going in. I think we might drop into the British. I heard something, girls out there, that you need to listen to, because here you have your chance to meet a real star.
Deja Vu, captain of the Great Britain team. All you teams have been watching each other in action in the earlier rounds of the Nations Cup. What did you learn from Italy's quarter-final against the Netherlands about them and that might help you in tonight's game?
Yeah, I mean, they're a very strong team, first of all. In fleet races, they had a big advantage over the Netherlands, and so we'll definitely be aiming to see if we can steal one of them off them. Apart from that, in the team races, they're quite aggressive, and so we'll see if we can use that to our advantage, maybe.
And how do you, as the team captain, decide who sails in which race and on which boat? Is it a democratic thing? Is it based on past performance? How's it done?
Well, a lot of it was I kind of asked the guys what they were comfortable with, what they were good at, and race with them a bit, see what they're like, and then from there I could make some decisions and see where I wanted the people and where I would work with the restrictions on who could race where and so on.
Are you confident tonight? Do you think it's going to be a tough? I mean, it's obviously going to be a tough battle, but are you confident you can win through?
Yeah, I'm confident. You know, I like to remain optimistic, and so I think we've got a good chance, especially if we can manage to nab one of those fleet races, the 10v10s. Then I think we've got a good chance.
And which other ones are you? Which other races are you targeting?
The match races, probably. The laser race, J70, 2v2 as well, probably.
Okay. And just a question off the chat. Are you single?
Yes, I am.
There we go, folks. You've heard it here. You can stop asking. Thanks a lot, Deja Vu, or Mike, sitting in Southampton on the south coast of the UK. Thanks very much, and good luck tonight.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I think I embarrassed him, Thomas. Sorry, mate. But the question had to be asked. Here we go. It is race 1 of this semi-final. Great Britain against Italy. It's 10 against 10. So we start the regatta as we finish the regatta. The first and the 9th race features all the 10 sailors from each team. So it is fast and it's furious and it's fun and it's exciting, but it's all about getting as many of your boats as far up the fleet as possible in order to win the point. 30 seconds to go, and it's milling around here. Yeah, we're finding the start line somewhere over on this right-hand side. There it is. Yeah. And they're leaving it. They're taking their time. Remember the 49er, a really fast boat, and it's 2 upwind, 2 downwind legs, so 4 legs in total. The usual format, and they're all bunching up at this committee boat end. This is where they want to start from, and we're going to see penalties galore because, well, it's inevitable with so many boats so close together. And look at the red flashing up Not the best of starts for any of the teams. Iswiz has to go back and start again, and so does Donny Gillis.
Yeah.
So 3 British boats having to go back and start again because they were over early.
But I have to say, last time we saw the British play, Donny Gillis, he actually qualified for the World Championship. We have him here, Alec. He's one of the top sailors from the British team. He had a very nervous start last time. He really needs to steer that nerves, Donny, or else he will be having a hard time at the World Championship.
Yeah, Donny Gillis, who many of you will know as Maradoni. That's how he started his eSailing career. That's how he won the British eSailing Championship last year. But TP52 is out in front. Filippo Lanfranchi, the current world champion, eSailing world champion, in fourth with Luca Koslovic. So the fleet really mixed up at the moment. But the Italians, I'd say, have this slight advantage, but just by being bunched together in the middle of the fleet there.
Yeah, remember last time Italians did this 10 versus 10 in against the Netherlands. They did a fantastic job there, but the issue for the Italians there was, or not the issue, they actually had 10 sailors in top 10 at the moment against the Netherlands. So let's see how that will unfold this time. And it also looks like the Italians are dominating a little bit here tonight. They have top 3, but it's Déjà Vu, Adam GP14 and Skipper on fire. They're coming in close to them.
Here we come then, up to the top mark for the first time. Gin Tonic, Pepe D'Amato coming in first, Adam GP14, but Luca Koslovic is third. So it's the Italian tricolor in first, second and third.
Yeah, and we just had friendly fire, Alec. ACF sailed into Skipper on fire, and that's losing 5 position. 1 mistake, 5 positions down. But it is, as you said, the D'Amato brothers and Luca in the lead.
So we've got Adam GP14 and Skipper Fire, who will want to try and move up and start to create problems for the leading 3 Italian boats, whilst those at the back, the British at the back of the fleet, have to do everything to try and move up.
Yeah, but I have to say, I think the Italians are in trouble, Alec. Rock on Fire, the Italian champion, 19th. Tommy Tamble, I think the oldest on the team, 20th position. So Iswiz, Donny Gillis and Speedy, they just need to keep them behind them and then hope that Alberto Cavero or Enjoy N24 will be captured by one of the other British sailors and drop down, and that will give them 3 boats behind.
Oh, penalty there on Sozi. I think it was from ACF. Phil Manning picking up and Filippo Lanfranchi also picking up a penalty. So the Italians really picking up lots of penalties at this bottom mark. The British going on the attack.
Yeah, and Sozi missed that mark. I need to go behind. No. And she's only in 18th. So 3 Italians behind now. Rock on Fire climbing up the hill at the moment. But still, that was a very, very important point.
Sozi getting it all wrong. She rounded that mark in the top 10. And look where she's ended up. It was more than just the penalty she was given. I think it threw her. I think she lost her concentration. Must have got something wrong on her controls as well. But it's still Italy first, second, third. But now it's Great Britain fourth, fifth, and there's and sixth as well.
Yeah, it's a very close battle, this one, Alec. I can't call it. Normally we can see a pattern, but this is so open that we're going in here. Opposite side, Skipper on Fire, Pediccio 22, the Italian champion 2019. He's actually been substituted in today. So interesting how he's going to perform. Adam GP in the lead, but it's still the D'Amato brothers in the lead, followed by Luca Koslovic.
So we've got sailors from the north and the south of Italy in the top 3, from Puglia and from Trieste. And Adam GP14 coming in there. Skipper 5 Deja Vu, and a penalty on ACF.
But did you see what Filippo Lanfranchi did? He actually Willis the 7-1. He slowed down and had 2 boats sailing around him. And then when another British came in, he went out to penalize him. So he actually slowed down the whole British fleet one single-handed Italian, so giving them a lead.
So as they head towards the finish line, it seems that the tactic for the Italians was to get as many sailors ahead as possible. They've done that with the top three. And now those at the back are just trying to disrupt the British fleet.
Yeah, but they are in trouble, Alec. They're in trouble.
Yeah, they're playing a dangerous game.
Yeah.
18th, 19th, 20th are all Italy. And I think, I'm not going to call it because it is too close. I can't do the maths.
No.
But the leading boats have finished. It's Italy first, second, third, and then comes a whole load of British boats. But really, this race is going to be decided amongst the ones we're looking at right in front of us here at the back of the fleet.
Oh, Enjoy with a penalty, TP killing him. Yeah.
Pedrito and Enjoy picking up penalties.
Not a penalty to an Italian Sosi. TP is making fun with them down there, slowing them down. So I think that might change the whole picture.
Yeah, Sosi, not the best race for her. And she goes again in the next race, in the female match race. So she's going to have to gather her thoughts and steady her nerves. And we wait for the official result.
Yeah, and let's go in here and see it. I'm actually quite exciting to see the D'Amato brothers, Pepe D'Amato, Gin Tonic, that's David D'Amato in top three, together with the young magician Luka Koslovic, the Harry Potter of eSailing. We called him that in the community because he's a young magician. They are in top three. So
I can give you the result if you want it now, Thomas.
Yeah. Let me have it.
It is 100 points to Great Britain, 110 to Italy. So it's now GBR 1, Italy 0.
Yeah, and Alec, I need to go in and see where was this won and lost, because 10 points, that's so little. We can see in the downwind action, Pedrito 22 lost to 4 British skippers, went to 10th. Rock on Fire, he won position, went to 11. The world champ, defending world champ, Villas the 7-1 Filippo, lost 4 positions in downwind action. Alberto Carrero won it, but it's the team captain losing 6 positions. Enjoy M24 just towards the finish line. That's how it is.
And that just shows how important in these big fleet races, how important what happens at the back is. And in many ways, it's more important than what's happening at the front of the race, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also telling us a story already that the Italians are ready to battle it out. Some of the young Italians are really stepping up, and some of the older ones are having a hard time against the British team. And we talked a little bit about before going on air. What's the difference on these two teams? The Italians, they are very aggressive sailing, very aggressive, and also have a high individual skill, where the British, we actually only know 3 of them from a top level.
Yes, and so the Italians do have a reputation for being very aggressive, especially in their quarterfinal against the Netherlands. They were sort of inflicting penalty after penalty, and it didn't pay off to start with. But then once they kind of got into their rhythm, and you'll hear an interview with their captain, he was very pleased to say that he felt the team had really come together. Because remember, both Britain and Italy came through as second and third seeds from the seeding round, which meant they didn't have to compete in round 1. So they've actually only competed kind of once in anger since the seeding round, whereas obviously their opponents had competed more races. So for the Italians and the British in the quarterfinal, it was all about cohesion and coming together as a team. And I think we saw both sides do that.
Yeah, and Alec, when we're saying the Italian captain, we'll have an interview with him after the next race, because we have a very interesting race coming up. The 2 female players from each team are coming in. And we're just waiting to come into the server, and then we will see this fantastic race coming up. But it's a very important point. We have seen in many of the other races that the female game is where the difference is. But
if we're waiting for them to join the server, then it's just time really to say that quite often what happens in this second race, in this match race, tends to set things up for the rest of the regatta. Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go then. 25 seconds to go. So a match race in the Star boat. Now, the Star, obviously a very different proposition from the 49er that we've just seen in action. A much slower boat. And already this battle, this head-to-head, this cat and mouse between these two is turning into penalties, penalty against penalty. The battle is on. We have got this race underway. Sozi on that left-hand side. And I think Iswiz, in the end, got the position, the starting position that she wanted.
Yeah, she's in a good position because she can control Sozi right now. It's because Sozi, she cannot tag up towards the top mark without getting covered by Sozi. And when we are speaking about females, see there in the background, Alec, this is so symbolic. The Statue of Liberty. And who of these two players, these two female sailors, will have the that status to be the Statue of Liberty for their team and giving them a new point?
Well, we have the 21-year-old from Italy, Rosalba Giordano, and she faces Isabel Waha. Oh, and already the first blows have been settled.
Yeah, and Alec, we have a really standout here. Sozi really needs to take care because we have some rules of the turning of the mark up there, and this is the rule of from port side, the inside turn. So Izzy is in a position where she can penalize Sozi rounding that mark, and that will inflict huge damage. But Sozi is slowing down in purpose not to get that penalty, and she also doing a huge turn, and then getting ready for downwind action.
So Sozi trying to come back from a poor first race. Picked up lots of penalties in that. And Iswiz with a slight advantage, and it is only a slight advantage going downwind in the start. But the 19-year-old is in front. Can the 21-year-old from Italy use her wind shadow to speed up her own boat and slow down Iswiz?
Right now, she's not being able to use it because Iswiz, she's going to the left-hand side. That's a trick we have been seeing in the starboat time after time. But Cube, you can go too long to the side, can't you?
Yes, Thomas, that's right. There is actually a moment where it becomes a bad decision to go all the way to the side, because then jibing and just sailing straight towards the mark is faster. And it looks like we're just getting towards that limit now of what's possible.
I think Iswiz pushed it too far, and she's trying to get her own back on Sozi, but Sozi manoeuvred just at the right moment.
Penalty will come in.
Look how close this is, and she picks up the penalty.
Yeah, but luckily for her, it's so close to the gate mark. But see, the Italian Sozi is going to the left-hand side of our view, the right-hand side upwind. So is he back in the race instead of going to the far side? So that's great. So we are going to have a huge battle, Alec, coming in the next downwind leg.
Sozi going right, Iswiz going left. She couldn't just follow the Italian up this leg. So that was an expected tack from Iswiz. And we wait for them. Well, now they're both on the same tack, heading off to on this left-hand side. And look just how close it is. Are we going to see Sozi tack now? Yeah. There she goes.
Good coverage there, good coverage, but this is all open. Let's see if Iswiz is good at doing downwind attack on it. Let's see how that will go. But right now, Sozi is in a good position. And let's just bring in Cube. What can Izzy do to worsen her position here?
I'm not getting what you mean, Thomas, in worsening your position.
Yeah, what can she do to actually make her in a bad position? Right now, she's actually in a good position when she came up to that mark. They followed each other. She's 30 meters behind. So what could she do of mistakes?
Yeah, well, right now the mistakes that she can do is that she will maneuver too much, and we can see that when we look at the really good players, that they really try to minimize the amount of steering that they do, because every time you steer with a star, you lose so much speed, and that will also make a big difference on catching up to the leader.
Well, Sozi going out to the left-hand side again, or right of the screen, but to the left-hand side of the course, just as Iswiz did, to try and avoid that dirty air from the Briton. But the 40 meters, you know, should be enough for Sozi to hold on to the finish line.
I'm not sure, Alec, because she's going so far up now and she's caught in wind shadow. This is giving Iswiz the chance to go on the inside of her and throwing dirty air. So they need to turn in towards the finish line now. Yeah. This is going to be an incredible finish. Let's see if she can have it. See, now it's going strong.
Sozi pushing it right to the limit. And now, because of the wind shadow, we're going to start seeing her slow compared to Iswiz. But she's almost at the finish line. So maybe she's absolutely timed it perfectly, the Italian. Yeah. And I think she has. She crosses the finish line, and Rosalba Giordano, or Sozi, the 21-year-old, squares the regatta. It's now 1-1. Stefano, buonasera. L'Italia vi segue e speriamo di non deluderli. Let's switch to English. What changes have you made, if any, to your team?
Buonasera a tutti, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, we have changed just one member of the team. We introduced Pedretto 22, Francesco Pedrotti. It's not the new member, but it's the former Italian champion in 2019, and he will be part of the team for the next races and for some races. So this is the only changes we introduce.
Now, the British beat Germany very convincingly in the quarterfinals. You obviously will have watched that. Do you think you can beat the British? Where is their weakness?
Yeah, I saw the match, and I saw several times the match. What to say? It's quite it's hard to beat. I think it's very hard to beat the Great Britain. I don't know if there is a weak point or there's a way to beat them, or I guess there is. I know there is. I will not tell you, of course, but it's very hard to beat them. I think it's very hard. So we will do our best for do it.
What would it mean to you guys to actually make it to the final?
It's a very important thing for us because to get the semi-final, it's a huge amount because I see there is a very good equation from everybody of us. So it's a very good result. I'm very proud to be the captain of this team, this Italian team. There's a lot of beautiful person, a lot of experienced sailor and eSailer, and so it's very good for the development of Italian eSailing in Italy, for eSailing in Italy. So I'm very proud to be the captain of this team.
Grazie Stefano, in bocca al lupo, good luck.
Thank you very much.
And Stefano, the captain, is going to be in action in the J70. He sits out this one. It's the 5 against 5 in the laser. We've got Deja Vu, Donny Gillis, ACF and TP52 for Great Britain. Rock on Fire, Pepe D'Amato, Luka Kozlovic, Sozi and Tommy Tamblay for Italy. Right, well, we've enjoyed the match race. Sozi back in action for her 3rd race in a row here, but a very different race, Thomas, because we've seen individual skills in the match race just now, and this is all about team strategy and tactics. And sometimes we get a good glimpse of what that strategy will be in the pre-start as they line up. It's a bit early yet to see if they're going to sort of pair off, but as they head up the first leg, we should get an idea of what the team strategy is, how they're going to take on their opponents. But some of these boats leaving it quite late to cross that start line and get the right side of it. Yeah, pushing their luck there. I think that was Pepe D'Amato. And in fact, a few penalties and a few going over early. So a really mixed start for both teams as they now begin to sort themselves out and pick up speed. And the British on the whole on this right-hand side.
Yeah, interesting. The top British going to the right-hand side, the top Italians going to the left-hand side. And Alec, just to pick up what you said, the Italians having 3 young people there's in top level. The young magician from Trieste, Luka Kozlovic. Then they have the Italian champion, Rock on Fire, who's 16 years old. And they are going to be controlled or steered by Pepe D'Amato from Bari. He's a little bit older, and then we have the rest of the team. Those are the 3 top Italians, and they're going to battle against 3 players that is actually very good of collaboration. Donny Gillis, Speedy One, and Deja Vu. And right now it looks like the British are actually doing a very good job against the very strong individual Italians in this race.
Yeah, early days on this first leg, and we're going to see the Italians tack into the mark now.
But this is crucial, Alec. 4 Italians behind the British Armada. There's only Pepe D'Amato up there to do anything.
Well, we'll see where they are when they come up to this mark.
Deja Vu, he's just slowing them down. That's his task, slowing them down. And Luka, he's so good. He just managed to go away from Deja Vu, but Deja Vu's plan almost succeeded. And as I remember, Cube is always saying, are you getting 1st, 2nd, and 3rd? Then it's game over for the other nations. But let's see how it goes here.
Yeah, you were mentioning age and experience. The Italians have 2 16-year-olds in this race. Tommy Tamblay comes round. He's one of the older members of the team. Luka Kozlovic is one of the teenagers. Penalty on Pepe D'Amato.
Yeah, made by Sosi. Friendly fire, but now 3
But ACF
British.
getting a penalty from one of the Italians as well. But right now it's TP52 and Speedy One near the back of the fleet. And these fights, really aggressive maneuver from Rock on Fire.
But he lost
That's his reputation, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Rock on Fire. He's known for being very aggressive, but he lost that. See how much speed he lost. But I'm amazed to see the Italians coming up, but see Sosi losing the battle to Deja Vu. Deja Vu on the hunt for the next. Pepe D'Amato winning over Speedy. But right now, it's all about see how many penalties they can give to the Italians. But it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Yeah, well, we heard Deja Vu in his interview say that the one thing he noticed, the overbearing thing he noticed in the Italian quarterfinal was just how aggressive they were, and that they were going to have to, match that. And I think this is the first time we've really seen just how aggressive the eSailing can be. But Donny Gillis, he is clear at the front, isn't he?
Yeah, he's actually doing a great job up there. He just needs to focus to be there. And Déjà Vu, he tried to go for second, but he's covered by Luca. But amazing to see the battle here behind. Rock on Fire has lost 3 times in a row to Speedy and ACF. So he has not, and TP 52, he has not been winning those penalty fights. And that might mean that the Italians can lose it.
My maths is telling me that the Italians are behind at the moment just by a point, which means the fight at the moment is at the back because Rock on Fire just needs to move up to 9th and Italy will have this race. So really close and the positions swapping all the time. And we're going to see them sort of shuffle the fleet as they head downwind for the final time once they round this mark.
Yeah, and Cube, do you think Déjà Vu and Donny Gillis are speeding away, or will they help the team?
Yeah, no, I think in this situation they will speed away because it's actually pretty close. So all of the British guys in the back are really close to the 4 Italian sailors. So once they can get even 1 place, that means it's already enough for them to secure the win. And that last position, it's still close, but they can manage to do that probably.
And Rock on Fire reaches this mark, and there's plenty of distance between him and Speedy 1. And now Speedy 1 will be focused on keeping that distance. A little battle going on here then with Sozi and ACF. But at the same time, they can be aggressive, but they don't want to risk their position. The British have the advantage at the moment. Donny Gillis crossing the finish line, but here comes Déjà Vu in second place. He takes second. Luka Koslovic is third. Peppe D'Amato, Tommy Tamblay, Pep and TP52 all coming in here.
This battle is important. Sozi, if she's losing, penalty to Sozi. Oh, yeah. And also Rock on Fire, another penalty.
Well, that penalty may be the decider in this race.
And let's go in and see it. We will get a confirmation by Cube, but let's see how they're switching positions again towards the finish line. Donny Gillis and Déjà Vu raced for first and second. They were untouchable. Luca tried to capture Déjà Vu, couldn't do it. Peppe D'Amato, Tommy Tamble also secured that racing downwind. But here we see,
Well, I can continue on that final upwind. There was only a point between them. But in the end, it finished Great Britain 25, Italy 30.
Yeah.
So it's point to GBR.
Yeah, and when we're just going in and analyzing that a little bit, then it's actually Sozi who lost it because she came from a position 6 to an 8. And Rock on Fire, that battle he lost against Speedy, TP52 down there, was so costly.
So time and time again, we say this, it's about the battles in the middle of the fleet and often at the back of the fleet. And that was the situation there with Sozi mid-fleet and Rock on Fire right at the back.
Yeah, and now the Italians has a chance to strike back. It's only 2-1 to the British, and we're going in to speed up a little bit. We're going into the F50, the CLDP boat, the EF50, and we're going to see 3 top Italian players. Villas the 7-1, Luka Koslovic, Alberto Carrero. And
yeah, I mean, 3 of their top players, and Villas the 71, current world champion. So huge experience there, and you need that experience in the F50. It's such a fast boat. It's a tricky boat. It's like getting on a racehorse and trying to control a racehorse around a racetrack. You need to know what you're doing. They're fast, they're skittish, they're difficult to handle, and that's the same with the F50.
Yeah, and yesterday we saw how this race actually turned the battle into Spain away from Denmark, because Lucas Moore, also top Danish sailor, he timed that start with 0.2 seconds wrong, so he had to slow down his boat, and that was costing him the race. We can see there are some small connections issues in there with the internet for 2 of the players. So if you also want to play this game and you like what you're seeing, this is how you can do.
Here we go then. A minute from the start, and these powerful machines sitting idle right now on the very far boundary. So if you're new to this, I should explain the boundaries are put in just to force them to maneuver, because it's the maneuvers that can create problems, that can create mistakes, and that create overtaking possibilities as well. So it's a really tight race course with really fast boats. And in about 10 seconds time, we're going to start seeing them power up and, fill those wing sails with wind. They're wing sails, they're on foils, they're fast boats. They won't be hitting 50 knots in this race. The winds are too light, but they can do, and they are terrific when they do. But here we go then, the three British breast to breast, side by side, and a good start all round. A little bit slow for Filippo Lanfranchi, defending world champion. But Alberto of Italy coming around that mark in third, and penalties for him.
No. Did you see what happened? First thing that happened was that Belrock sailed into Hugh. No, Deschavaux sailed into Hugh. Friendly fire by himself, and Belrock mistimed that attack on Alberto, so the British killed themselves.
So not a good start, and the three Italians all together now in the middle there.
But
10 points or less wins you this race.
Yeah. In the start, Alec, you talked about boundaries and make the boats maneuvering. We see these battles in the F50 is decided on maneuvering, who's doing the less maneuvering than everybody. Because every time they do a maneuvering, let's follow Belrock, then they slow down around 11 knots, and it takes 11 seconds to hit maximum speed. See here, now you can see it here. 16 knots, he was at 27, and we can start counting. And we are now an 8. And 11 seconds after, he is hitting maximum speed. So this is how you're going to play the game. Take care of your maneuverings.
And also, it can be tricky on your, controlling your device, controlling the this boat, because it is so fast. You need fast fingers, not fat fingers, to race this convincingly. No position changes on the last couple of legs.
No.
We've still got Hugh Brayshaw out in front. Then come the three Italians. Deja-Vu bringing up the rear. Deja-Vu, who ironically was a Sail GP finalist and winner.
Yeah, got his direct spot to the World Championship for winning the Sail GP Grand Final. So, and he's currently in 6th now because of that unforced penalty for sailing into the leading British boat. But what to do now? I think Filippo Lanfranchi, he will slow down and make sure the two British behind cannot come back in the race. So this way he can ensure the victory for Italy. And then we might see Hugh, and he's very unexperienced in this, slowing down and trying to slow down the two other Italians. So a battle coming up now.
It takes confidence, though, to slow down when you're in a winning position, which the Italians are at the moment. The other tactic, of course, is just keep going and only get into a tussle, a fight, if you really need to. But Belrock is closing in, as is Deja-Vu, who's now moved up into 5th.
They are getting closer, but Cube, how will you come back in this race? What? Oh, there we see the slowdown. We just wait for Cube a little bit. See, Hugh is slowing down to slow down Alberto, to covering him, covering Lanfranchi. Luca needs to see attack straight on. Now the battle begins, Alec. The battle of Britain and Italy.
The battle begins and time is running out. We're really coming to the climax of the race now. We've got a leg left, and it's Hugh Brayshaw and Alberto up at the top. Alberto Carrera neck and neck coming up to this gate. Then we've got Filippo Lanfranchi.
Yeah,
and Lanfranchi
goes in. Hugh
in
needs to cover him.
him.
This is very important. See, they're Luca winning the battle behind them against Belrock. So it's up to Hugh now. What will he do? No, he speeds up.
looks like Hugh is off to try and win this race, and then the next two have to just do their best to move up ahead of Luka Koslovic.
Yeah, but it looks hard. Luka is battling it. It's 5 points to the Italians up here, and you need 10 points to win it. So he's going after winning it.
The race.
So it's this battle here that is important. If Luka is losing, then the British are winning.
Deja Vu trying to cover him, trying to cause him trouble. Belrock, picks up the penalty. Penalty back on Luka Koslovic. Deja Vu's going to get past him, but what about Belrock? He needs to inflict another penalty. Yeah. He's waiting to do that, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. It's a
and he has.
Luka.
And he lets Belrock through.
Luka with a penalty.
And that has decided the race. Fantastic tactics from Deja Vu. Aggressive when he needed to be, and he pulled it off.
Yeah, and when we see here, then it's 11 points for Italy and 10 points for Great Britain. So a victory of tactics for the British. What a race.
Terrific performance from Deja Vu, the British captain. He worked out the situation in those last few meters, knew exactly what he had to do, and knew that Belrock was having trouble getting back into the race. So he covered for him. It was American football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and a great American football. But also, at the moment when they came to the second top mark, Hugh was actually meant to slow down, to slow the two other Italians, but because of an attack earlier on, Deja Vu came close enough to Luka Koslovic and said, go, 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 win it. Then we will try to battling out with Luka and see if we can win. And they just won it.
Yeah, fantastic tactics. I wonder what the British strategy was going into the race. It all went wrong, didn't it, at the start for them? And I suspect that strategy was kind of they tore up the piece of paper and started again. But these guys are in the chat rooms. They are communicating with each other, and they're allowed to. So yes, they are spread kind of across their countries, but they are together in the chat and communicating on WhatsApp and all sorts. So communication is key.
Yeah, and when we say communication is key, next race coming up, 2 versus 2, the top players from each country coming up.
Okay, race number 5. It's in the J70. It's our first look at the J70. Race number 7 is also in this boat. And it's between the two certificated sailors from each side, which basically means that the pro sailors or Olympic sailors, the guys with the blue ticks. Luka Koslovic and Pepe D'Amato up against Speedy One and Deja Vu back in action. Hope he's caught his breath from the F50 race.
Yeah, it's the young team against the young team. So it's actually the youngsters this time. Pepe D'Amato is the oldest, and he's a kite surfer. So let's see what he can do against the others here.
Well, is he going to fly off the start line? They're virtually stopped, and now they turn their sails and power up.
No!
Oh! Luka Koslovic, the worst of starts, was over early, and so goes back and starts again. But in this J70 in the upwind, that's no major disaster. We'll see him close that gap. But right now it's Britain 1 and 2 and Italy 3 and 4.
And Cube, he might agree with me. Luka was in a fantastic position to cover up the British, but he just mistimed that start. Wasn't it right, Cube?
Yeah, you're perfectly right, Thomas. It all came down to that fraction of a second for Luka, or he would have gotten a huge chance to control both British sailors.
Yeah. And let's see what's coming up. They just need to speed away. If they can keep the lead, the British, then they might go in and take another point. But Pepe D'Amato sneaking closer and closer to them.
Well, if you were with us earlier for the Star class, this boat has a similar effect on the downwind, and often these races are decided on the final downwind leg. but it's all about how close the boats can stick to each other, can stick to the leader to give themselves a chance downwind. And right now, Pepe D'Amato maneuvering himself into a position where he was hoping to get control of Speedy 1.
Yeah, but the Brits are actually controlling him quite well. But as in the starboat, we see the Brits doing a lot of tags. And every time they tag, they lose momentum, giving Luka Koslovic a chance to come closer to them. So what Pepe D'Amato is doing right now is he's trying to slow down the British and also trying to avoid to get into wind shadow.
Speedy 1, the 23-year-old British eSailing national champion, out in front. And comes up to the mark.
Oh.
And they need to just be a little bit careful there. They don't want to hit each other, inflict a penalty. Pepe D'Amato third, Luka Koslovic fourth.
I thought Deja Vu learned it in the last race. He sailed into the leading boat because they got too close. So he just made a bigger turn. But I have to say, this battle, Pepe, he needs to capture Deja Vu up there, or Speedy, or else it's looking hard for the Italians.
Pepe D'Amato, an Oppie coach in Bari, in the south of Italy. And the thing about Pepe D'Amato, his dream is exactly what Deja Vu will get to do in the coming months next year, which is sail a real F50.
Yeah, he's also a kite surfer. We're following the different players on the social medias. I'm seeing him doing a lot of coaching work in the Optis. He's having such a big team of youth there coming in there, but he's also a kite surfer, going out with his brothers and his friends. He has two brothers, the Matzo brothers there, and they're kiting around Italy. He loves speed, he loves action.
But Deja Vu will be off on the with the Spanish SailGP team as a guest, having won the SailGP final. And right now, it's cat and mouse, isn't it?
Yeah,
Between these two boats. Oh,
there it came.
In the middle.
Downwind attack by Deja Vu and Pepe D'Amato. But see, Luca, that battle made Luca come close enough to Deja Vu. So Deja Vu is going to battle two Italians, and Speedy knows that. So it's all about, do they take the chance and make Speedy sail away? Because Deja Vu will be all by himself. He needs to keep two Italians behind him.
Well, if anyone in the British team can look after themselves, it's Deja Vu. He proved that in that last race in the F50. Oh, he launches his spinnaker early, and off he goes. And so it's first and second to Britain as they head towards the finish line on this final leg. Luka Koslovic trying to close the gap. What is the distance between them? Let's have a look from this bird's eye view. 24. Oh, well, we're going to see Koslovic quite going to try. He has the wind shadow. He has the advantage to catch Deja Vu. But can Deja Vu maneuver and keep out of that dirty air?
Oh, Luca losing it. But Pepe D'Amato is now in the race because Luca managed to slow down Deja Vu. So now there are two Italians against one, and the Brits can lose it on the finish line. See, Speedy knows that he has to wait.
Comes back.
He has to wait. Shall I
waiting.
finish or shall I not? It's going to be on the finish line.
Basically, you can't finish first and third. You don't want to do
Deja
that.
Vu losing.
Penalty to Deja Vu.
No, Speedy crosses it.
Speedy 1 wins,
No!
but Deja Vu crosses last. It's going to be an Italian point.
Yeah, and actually, Speedy did that mistake he was waiting not to do, crossing the finish line first. But the Italians will have the points because they were second and third, so they will get first and third. So 1 point to Italy, 3-2 to the British.
We should explain, if you're new to the game, that yes, both teams got 5 points because of their positions. But the rules of team sailing are that if you win a drawn race, then you actually lose that race. The point goes to the other team. I think the idea, Thomas, is to try and create, team tactics and team strategy. We saw Speedy try to do that and turn around and slow down and do everything he could not to win the race to help Deja Vu, but it didn't work in the end.
No. And now when we're saying it didn't work in the end, then let's go in and watch the individual skills now. It's going to be Deja Vu against Rock on Fire in the next race, race number 6. It is a match race between the two top players of their team. And from Britain, it's Deja Vu, and from Italy, Italian champion.
Right, here we are back in the star class then. Rock on Fire, 16 years old, against Deja Vu, who's 19 years old. And the player from Aberdeen, Deja Vu, he's going to be a little bit. It's about concentration and focus, isn't it? And 3 tough races in a row is hard work. Anyway, we shall see how it goes. Right now, he's just picked up a penalty for crashing into Rock on Fire. Yeah. And so the Italian gets the better of the starts.
Yeah, and that's a hard start for Deja Vu, but it's not the worst. He can still be back in the race, and especially in this race, because we have seen especially this race, because there's a lower wind right now. The wind pressure is only 17 knots. That means that when they're going downwind, they can experience that the wind disappear. So it's all about your skills right now. So let's see how that will go in the downwind.
Right now, both of them on the same tack. Looking at the radar on the top left corner, seems fairly steady breeze all the way across the course. And Deja Vu heading out to this ley line. See him tack.
He will go a little bit further out so he can get a little bit more speed into the sail, because they will have this rule of the inside turn of the top mark. So he wants to see if he can control Rock on Fire, and he almost managed to do it here. But there we see Rock on Fire, Deja Vu, nicely defended by Rock on Fire, and Deja Vu almost tricked Rock on Fire to fall onto that trick. But see Deja Vu losing so much speed right now. And Cube, that was brilliant made by Rock on Fire, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good move there by Rock on Fire. And actually the low winds that we are experiencing right now are helping him to get this advantage and to build up his lead.
Yeah, and we see the speed difference. Rock on Fire 5.4, Deja Vu 4.6. So he's having so much speed, sneaking away from Deja Vu. But we saw Pika Lorsen from Sweden against Denmark capturing Lucas Moore behind 48 meters. So everything is possible yet.
Yeah, absolutely. In the start, they've got a wind shadow of 33 to 35 meters. Obviously, Deja Vu is out of that now.
No. It's from bow to bow, the meters we're seeing here. See, Deja Vu 5.6, Rock on Fire 5.3. He's just inside. The only unlucky thing for Deja Vu is it's a short downwind to this mark. So the next downwind, he needs to speed up.
And the incredible thing about Rock on Fire and his successes in recent months is that he only started playing in lockdown, so he hasn't been playing long. He's not that experienced. And he's up against Deja Vu, who, although young, has been playing for a long time and knows exactly what he's doing, has the experience. And now he's caught that wind shadow, as you said, Thomas, and now that gap has been closed down. And Deja Vu accelerating and going past Rock on Fire.
But he's doing a small mistake, in my opinion. He's going to the long mark rounding. He was so close on Rock on Fire, then he's going to this left-hand side. That's the long rounding, but they're only 2 meters in between each other. Rock on Fire attacks Deja Vu!
Oof. And the thing about Rock on Fire, we're not sure which game he came from when he transferred to eSailing during lockdown. But whatever it was, we think it probably involved some sort of fighting. and shooting, because he has been so aggressive ever since he started and has a reputation for that. And this time it paid off. He went straight in for the attack, no messing around. And I thought Deja Vu actually, and we'll ask Cube, I thought Cube that Deja Vu got himself into a really good position there.
Yeah, he did. And while Thomas was saying he picked the wrong mark, I actually think that was the only option for Deja Vu, because choosing the same mark as Rock on Fire would actually have given Rock on Fire the chance to stop his boat and do a mark trap, as we call it, and then penalize Deja Vu even before he rounded the mark.
So here we go. He's just 30 meters from the leader. That's where he needs to be if he hopes to catch him on this final downwind leg.
And again, it's going to be the downwind leg that's going to show us who is going to win this fantastic race. And let's see if Deja Vu can manage to capture him again. This time, 42 meters from bow to bow. So, Rock on Fire, take a look behind yourself. A Brit is coming.
But is he coming fast enough? That's the question. Let's have a look at their speeds. Yeah, there is a bit. He is a bit faster at the moment, but almost being matched. 28 meters now between them. And this is going to go right to the end. Rock on Fire going out to this left-hand side, trying to keep out of that dirty air.
Yeah.
Deja Vu just tightening up.
He's eating him. Nice and slow, Alec. This is going to be a battle just for the finish line. Rock on Fire knows that. Deja Vu on the inside. Whoosh. Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Now we're bow to bow. Let's have a look where the finish line is. How long have they got? Is this going to be a photo finish? We saw a photo finish in the last semi-final. And this is going to be Deja Vu's just in on the inside. And Rock on Fire misses out by, what, hundredths of a second?
Yeah, 0.01 second.
0.1. And so it is Great Britain 4 now, Italy 2. Match point to Great Britain.
Wow. we're all quiet. Normally we are so up and running, but this is so close racing they're doing here that we all
Well, it's like chess on water, isn't it?
Yeah.
When it gets to that stage, and you want to shout, but you're not quite sure what to shout because it could go either way. It was fantastic stuff,
But Alec,
and a real race of nerves as well, and who could stand the pressure the most.
Yeah, and if this was chess, you've been thrown out of studio for shouting. So that's how it is. But we are now going into the next chess games of sailing. It's 3 versus 3 in the J-boat. And this is also one of those fantastic races with a lot of team races in. And yesterday we just saw the best of the best team races in this one. Denmark, Spain. And Spain won it and sealed the point for them. But I have to say, this is going to be very close races. Match point for Britain.
Yeah, and it's 10 points or less that wins this. It's match point for Britain. I think we're going to see the Italians come out fighting. They've got a reputation for being a cohesive but aggressive team. Well, now that is exactly what they need to be. Three against 3 in the J70 then. Adam GP, Speedy 1 and Donny Gillis for Great Britain face Enjoy M24, the Italian captain, the youngster Rock on Fire back in action, and Pedrito 22 who comes into the team. He couldn't make the quarterfinal, so he comes in for this race. The first Italian national eSailing champion last year. He won that in Trieste. But right now, let's have a look at what's going on. Let's see if there's a strategy unfolding on the start line with 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, and I'm quite interested with the British team, Alec, because and against Japan, they didn't practice that much because they already won that race. So are they up to the game now?
Well, already a few penalties being handed out. They should have cleared by the time the clock goes to 0. So Rock on Fire, though, still with that penalty. So that slows him down. It was a bit of a, well, he was the, to use your term, he was the burger in the British bun there, sandwiched between the two British boats.
He was the Mara in fish and chips, if we're going to take food analogy into the British. No, it's cool. Speedy on the right-hand side. He needs to covering up Enjoy and Peditro, but Peditro in a good position. And
I thought on the start line that they'd paired up into sort of 3 separate match races, but they've now split up. And Pedrito, oh, here we go with a cross here in the middle. Donny Gillis just crossing behind Enjoy M24.
And Speedy also there. So now we have the match race. I think Peditro 22 tacked in too early. Didn't you think that also, Cube?
Well, actually, I think that the Brits are doing quite well right now. I mean, I wanted to point it out earlier as well. If you saw how they positioned themselves, they were in a perfect position to take up any wind shift that was coming their way. And now you still see that they still have some control over the Italians.
Yeah, but Donny Gillis needs to go behind the whole fleet. But Speedy is going to control 2 boats in this tack. And it looks like Peditro 22 survived that control. So now it's up to Donny Gillis to control them.
Yeah, hugely experienced Donny Gillis, first British eSailing champion under the name of Maradoni.
Yeah, but I think the battle here is going to be against Rock on Fire, the Italian champion, and then Adam GP. And Alec, Adam GP, we know a little bit about him also. He's
sails at Hollingworth Lake Sailing Club, works for the RYA. He's actually one of their eSailing development officers. So he needs to show his skills here. No pressure, mate.
Right now he's battling the Italian champion for not getting last, because that will be the battle that might decide who's winning this race. Peditro coming in, he's in trouble. Gillis coming from Starport.
Oh, penalty over there on that left side on Enjoy, and that was Speedy 1 doing that.
Also well timed. Yeah.
Pedrito 22 almost stopping there. He's slowing down, trying to disrupt the British charge.
Oosh. Oh, he doesn't succeed.
No, he doesn't. He's just let Donny Gillis and Speedy 1 through.
And Rock on Fire losing to Adam. So that's nice developing by the Adam GP. Speedy coming in here in the mark rounding. Getting a penalty on the inside by Peditro. So Donny is sneaking away. So now it's all up to the guys behind to battling it out.
Yeah, Donny Gillis way out in front right now. So yeah, the battle now is the race is going to be decided behind him.
Yeah. Oi! Speedy making a huge mistake, trying to attack Peditro and mistimes it and get way behind. And Cube, mathematic, the only thing the British are not allowed to right now is lose the race.
Yeah, that's right, Thomas. The only focus they're having right now is not end up in 6th position. And it looks quite difficult because Rock on Fire has the advantage position.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Rock on Fire is now going to go up into 5th. He's going to overtake Adam GP.
No, he's too aggressive. Why doesn't he just sneak away? He still takes that fight.
Well, he missed his chance there, didn't he? Yeah. And we're going to see Adam come back. We're going to see Adam come back now. And Rock on Fire just pushing it too far, I think.
Cube, do you also think he pushed it too far, or was it Knight's covering?
Well, it's still really close between those two, and I think that the problem that can happen right now is that Speedy, well, he knows that he's in comfortable position because he can go back and start covering Rock on Fire. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So there he goes, covering Rock on Fire, and that might help the Brits to clear that last position.
Well, whilst we've been looking at the battle at the back, the gap at the front has shortened from 100 to 25 meters. Now, I don't know if that's Donnie Gillis slowing down tactically, or whether Enjoy M24 found some puff of wind somewhere. But now I'm wondering if that lead is at risk.
Let's bring in the expert, because it's a very good question. Cube, do you think the lead is on risk right now?
Well, I didn't exactly see what happened there, how that lead went down so quickly, but I see that M24 actually will have this problem, because he'll come closer and closer to the ley line, and Donnie Gillis is just able to always stack on him and always cover him up, and this will increase his lead as they come towards towards the upwind mark.
Remember, to win this, you need 10 points or less. And at the moment, in this one leg, that has changed about 3 times. I keep doing that sum. And Rock on Fire has now dropped down to 6, and that has made the difference. Yeah. It's now Britain that are ahead for the point. But there's one more downwind leg to come, and that is going to change everything. It's the J70. We know how crucial the downwind leg is in this boat.
Yeah, and this is the battle. The battle we're going to watch is the battle not to lose. So, Peditro 22, Rock on Fire, Adam GP 14 and Speedy 1 are going to do the chessing for us in sailing. Donnie Gillis, he's way ahead. I don't think he will be able to capture 80 meters. No, he can't. So it's here, it will be decided. But Enjoy just sneaking away. I don't know why. Because if these two guys win over Rock on Fire, then it's game over Italy.
Now, keep an eye on Pedrito 22, because he could decide, and probably should decide, to slow down a little bit and come to Rock on Fire's aid. Because if he does... Oh, what's happened here?
Yeah, Speedy
One just slows down to try and inflict a penalty, and he does.
Yeah.
He does. Now, Spinnaker out.
Yeah, see what happened? Did Rock on Fire miss the mark? Yeah, he did. He missed the mark. What a brilliant move by Speedy, making Rock on Fire panicking and missing the mark.
And the 16-year-old has shown his inexperience. Panic there from him. A penalty from Speedy 1. Really, the British national champion showing his experience. And now it's Britain that has 10 points as things stand. And I can't see Rock on Fire coming back. And it's match point to Great Britain, remember. So if Rock on Fire can't come back, can't gain a position, then it's Britain through to the final.
Yeah, and Adam just needs to sneak around the 2 Italians up here. He needs to make so much noise that they can't focus on Speedy. And Speedy getting closer and closer to that finish line. And it looks like they're not doing anything with it. Peditro
the Italians, you'd expect them to, well, I don't know. Well, they are. They're trying to force him out. Yeah. They're trying to cause problems for Adam.
Too late.
Penalty inflicted, but they've now crossed the finish line. And there is the black spinnaker of Rock on Fire right at the back of the fleet. He crosses in final place. That hands the race and the semi-final to Great Britain.
Yeah. Great stuff by Great Britain. And Alec, here we saw it. 2 strong Italian players sailing away and leading it to another strong Italian player to battling 2 Brits in the end.
Yes, I mean, they got so far ahead, didn't they, at that downwind leg, and they probably weren't even aware. I guess it depends what view they've got of the racing, because they can choose different views as competitors. They probably weren't aware until it was too late what had happened at that final mark. I mean, who would have thought that was it Rock on Fire? It was gonna pick up not just a penalty, but then miss the mark.
Yeah, but that was a panic move. You saw how the boat just suddenly away from Speedy when he got the penalty also, and then he missed the mark. Whoosh.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad luck, but in the end, Speedy showing his experience and his better ability to control the boat.
Yeah, we're getting ready for the two last races. We're ending up with some speed, and now the Brits really need to practice, because here the Spanish was really killing it against Denmark. The F50 2 versus 2, and then we're ending up with the Star Wars 10 versus 10 in the Nacra 17. But before that, let's just have a small break. Let's have a small break.
Well, already the debates in the chat rooms are all about that previous race. Could the Italians have done any more to help Rock on Fire at the back? Those debates will continue, but our focus right now is on the F50. It's race number 8. The regatta's been decided 5-2 to Great Britain. So for Great Britain, this is very much a training session. For the Italians, they are playing for pride, and they have got two of their strongest skippers out there, Gin Tonic and Peppe D'Amato, against Iswis and Skipperfire of Great Britain. And the Brits know that the Spanish are very good at this, and it is Spain that Britain will meet in the final next week. So they want to get as much practice and training as possible against some of the best in the world. And Peppe D'Amato and Gin Tonic, I think it's fair to say, Thomas, are amongst the best in the world. So this is going to be a real test for these less experienced British sailors.
It is, and the D'Amato brothers are going in front, but they're actually battling for a great honor, because if Italy gets 3 points against Britain, then they're getting a better score than Denmark, and then I know we're calling it a 4th and a 3rd position in the position there, but then they have a better score than Denmark and can claim the 3rd place overall in their minds. But the D'Amato brothers, what a start.
So bronze medal up for grabs for the Italians, who, as you say, Thomas, have started well. It's what you'd expect in this fleet, given the British sailors out there.
Yeah, I have to say, for the British, they really need to think about their tactics against Spain in this race, because in my opinion, this might be the 2 weakest players on the whole British team. And this race might be the deciding race against Spain. So let's see how they will do. Gin Tonic, David D'Amato, Peppe D'Amato, the brothers who made a fantastic comeback against the Netherlands and won that game for Italy there, are in the lead against Britain.
Yeah, Iswis, closest to us, sails at the Royal Southern Sailing Club.
Yeah.
I don't think she's hugely experienced in the EF50.
No, she's quite new in the game. So she's brought in for it. So she really needs to practice this F50. Skipper on Fire coming in there. But see the D'Amato brothers, well coordinated. They're also sitting in the same room, sitting at home in Bari, playing together. And they are so much in control of this race. And Cube, what are the chances for the British to come back in this race?
Well, right now it all comes down on mistakes. Once the Italians are making mistakes, once the Brits are making mistakes, that will really decide what will happen in.
Cube, whilst you're on, I just saw, I think that was Peppe D'Amato, just sort of slowing right down, coming back to the Brits. What was he thinking there?
Well, actually, he just miscalculated his leg to the upwind mark, and those boats slow down so much if you luff into the wind to round the mark. So he just did a double tack, and well, he tried to do it at full speed, and that's why he bear away so much. That's why we saw him coming down again towards the Brits.
And that's giving Skipper on Fire a chance to come back in this race for Britain. But Pepe D'Amato is ready to penalize him. He has the right away at the moment. So, but it's open up because of that mistiming upwind. So the small things count, the small mistakes is opening the race.
Yes, they do. There's no room for mistakes in this very fast boat.
And
Britain first and fourth currently.
And that was one of the small mistakes, the mark rounding. And see now, Pepe get ready to attack Skipper on Fire. And he mistimes it!
Oh, you don't expect that from Pepe D'Amato.
Great defense by Skipper on Fire. Gin Tonic in the lead. But still, he's in a good position, Pepe D'Amato over there. But he needs to take care. When he comes up towards the top mark, the two British will come with the right of way. And they will have the priority, so he can get penalized by them.
Well, about a leg ago, we didn't think Britain had any chance or very little chance of catching the Italians. And now, look at this. Gin Tonic trying to just fighting to stay ahead of Skipper Fire and Iswiz, with Pepe D'Amato now desperately trying to close the gap.
Yeah, and Pepe, he actually made a huge mistake because he's in fourth position, Gin Tonic in the lead. And a tie will give that position a victory for Britain. And Iswiz now sneaking away, so they focus on penalizing Skipper Fire and make him fourth, like we saw in the last race they did against Netherlands. And there they go. The D'Amato trap works again. Wow, it must be a signature move for them. Great stuff.
They knew exactly what they were doing, didn't they? Iswiz ahead, but Gin Tonic and Pepe D'Amato, the two brothers, second and third, and that is a winning position.
It is, and Iswiz knows that. But
yeah, Iswiz trying to lose time and trying to go on the attack.
They will do the same track.
But Gin Tonic just goes past her.
Yeah,
now he doesn't want.
Yeah.
And well, there we go. Iswiz, tactically, strategically, we absolutely know what she was doing, and she probably did the right thing. And we'll check with Cube in a moment whether he agrees with that. But in the end, it's all about the execution of the strategy, and that's what went wrong for Britain. So it's 5-3.
And Alec, there we just had a new move. I'm calling the D'Amato move. That was a signature move. It's the second time we see that trap made by the D'Amato brothers up there. And then we saw the British trying to do it on Pepe D'Amato back to them. But Iswiz made a small hole for the D'Amatos to come on the inside and make that penalty.
But what's significant about that result, 5-3, that means that Italy will get the bronze medal, because that's already a better result than Denmark got in their semi-final.
Yeah, that way we can say it, but there will not be a bronze medal, but it's 4th and 3. But in the mind, yeah, they're the third best nation in the world right now. And while we're saying that, let's get ready to Star Wars.
The crazy 10 against 10 grand finale in the NACRA 17. It's fast, it's furious. We call it Star Wars because it's like some sort of space battle with lots of fast moving craft flying around the screen. We have no idea what's going to be happening, but can Italy finish off 5-4 in this semi-final, or will it be 6-3?
That's a question we're going to do. And let's just go in and see the format again here, because we're going to see a grand final next week.
Bless you. So here we go then. It's Spain against Great Britain. We now know that the final of the very first eSailing Nations Cup. I can't wait for that. First seed against second seeds, and if you know, how well has this format worked? It was a bit experimental. It's the first time that we've seen it in action, and the seeding rounds, you know, Spain first, Great Britain second, Italy third, and they were the semi-finalists and now the finalists. So a terrific format that's worked really well. And Spain, you know, let's look at their route to the final. They raced and beat Denmark. They beat Japan. Those were their two races. Great Britain had to beat Italy and had to beat Germany. So I think, would you agree with me that arguably Great Britain has had the tougher route to the final?
They have had the hardest way to go to the final. Spain, because of their level, has been having a small walkover. But Denmark, the result 7-2 doesn't tell anything about the battle against Denmark, because as we said in the start, there we saw the 3 best race ever in eSailing Nations Cup performed, but it went out to the Spanish side. And Alec, while saying that, let's get ready for the NACRA 17.
So 20 seconds to go for the grand finale, the NACRA 17, the only foiling boat at the Olympic Games. It's fast, and we've seen it can also be temperamental. We'll bring Cube in once we get the start underway, just to talk about the style of this boat and how it manoeuvres. But they are off. What a mess! What a lot of red.
One,
a lot
two,
of
three,
penalties.
4, 5, 6, 7 false start for Britain.
A lot of restarts. The pressure is off the British. They're here to have fun now. But the Italians, you know, they're playing for pride. They're playing for that 4th point. And Sozzi and Pepe D'Amato out in front. In fact, Italy dominating the fleet right now.
Yeah, and we just saw disconnection for one of the British boat here in the start. So that's really giving the point or the chance for the point for Italy. But we saw Spain was so dominating in this NACRA 17 that even with a disconnection, they won the race against Denmark.
So, Cube, if we could bring you in, what are the particulars? What are the specs of this boat, upwind and downwind?
I think you ask him a question that where he really needs to find it. And Cube, I can see you coming back in. What is the specs?
Sorry for that. So, well, the specs about this boat, it's a very fast boat, very, very agile. The angle that they sail upwind towards the wind is a bit bigger than with other boats, than the Star, for instance, or the J70. But a very nice thing about this boat is that you actually start to slow down once you reach a certain wind speed. So this boat has a speed limit upwind, and that's something we don't see very often with the other boats.
No, and that's the amazing thing about the game. This boat is like in the real life. The NACRA 17 is a light, medium weight boat, foil boat. So when it gets too fast, it slows down. Enjoy with a penalty. Friendly fire by the Italians. The team captain was killed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Italians. But I can say it's 9 Italians in the lead, Alec, right now. It's so dark. It's so black. It looks like the plague of Britain has come return.
Yeah, I think we've had enough plague at the moment. This is the most convincing leaderboard that we've seen, I think, for the whole of the Nations Cup so far. Almost the whole of the top 10 Italian. And what are the Italians doing? They're proving a point here. You know, they're saying, okay, you've knocked us out, you've beaten us, but this is what we can do. You know, we're just as good as you. You've just beaten us on the night. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. And also they're very strong individual players, as we said in the start. They have so many top players on the Italian team. And it's been such a pleasure to follow the Italians all the way up to this semi-final against Great Britain. And they really worked for it. But let's see here. Phil Manning coming in, penalty by Sozzi.
Interesting to see the rise of British eSailing as well, because Spain, huge strength and depth, thousands of really good eSailors right across Spain, and we see that quality in their nations team. But and similar with Italy, they've come to eSailing quite early. It's an established sailing sport, esport within Italy. Lots of experience and great strength in depth there for their squads. The British, though, have been slightly behind the curve, but they're coming into it now, coming into their own. And now they're showing that they are up there with the best teams in the world.
But Alec, there's also different tactics and strategy for the federations. The Italian Federation is actually not supporting eSailing the same way as the British are doing. The British Federation has developers focused on eSailing. They have been using eSailing for a long period of time now, because in Italy, when they did the first championship qualification, there was registered 32,000 eSailors.
Wow. So a huge number.
Yeah.
Huge interest in the sport. Yeah. But let's follow the Italians down this final leg to the finish line. And who's out in front but Filippo Lanfranchi, the winner of the 2019 eSailing World Championship. He won't be at the finals this year because he hasn't qualified. So his time as world champion is slowly coming to an end. By the end of next week, we will have a new champion crowned. So Filippo Lanfranchi and Peppe D'Amato and Pedrito 22, Luca Koslovic and Joy M24, they come towards the finish line. Italy cross that finish line. They win the final race of the semi-final, which brings the semi-final score to Great Britain 5, Italy 4. A really close semi-final, and one that kind of reflects on the quality of both teams. So it's been entertaining and absorbing. It's been a fantastic race from both the British and the Italians.
Yeah, Alec, 4 weeks has been played now in the eNations Cup. And in between those 4 weeks, we started with the qualifications for the World Championship also, where there was played 3 days in a row. And one of the players played more than 360 races. So a lot of eSailing has happened within the last month. And the next week is going to be a blast, Alec. We have 2 big events just after each other.
Fantastic. The eSailing Nations Cup final and then the World Championship finals. It's going to be good.
It's going to be great. With that said, thank you for tonight. Looking forward to see you all the 6th of November here on the channel, and the 7th of November. We're starting with the eNations Cup final and then the World Championship.
See you then.